Last week on South Atlantic Pro Wrestling, the Tennessee stud Robert Fuller tried to put an end to Paul Jones' wrestling career as he, the Pit Bulldogs, and the Man-Eater teamed up against Jones, War Eagle Chavis, and Ranger Ross. This week, the Tennessee stud dons his tights as he needs to challenge the Morganton's own Robert Campbell. Plus, the U.S. male Curtis Thompson makes another very special delivery. And in the main event, the South Atlantic tag titles will be on the line as a fantastic show against the Pit Bulldogs. Hello, wrestling fans. Frank Dusek here at ringside with the lovely Miss Kay and Coach Jeff Neal to my right. Wade Hampton General's wrestling team coach. Coach, welcome to South Atlantic Pro Wrestling.
Here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Well, thank you very much. Of course, the #1 fundraiser, South Atlantic Pro Wrestling, traveling all over the South Atlantic area. And we got wrestling excitement underway. Immediately, the bell is rung and the Man-Eater all over top of young Butch Malone.
Tell you what, Man-Eater's a big boy. 300 pounds and Samoa. They bring out some pretty tough athletes down there.
They sure do. Christian Okoye, of course, playing football for the Kansas City Chiefs, a classic example of a Samoan athlete.
Oh, sure.
I was telling the wrestling fans last week, 200 years ago, this man's ancestors ate Captain Cook.
That's it. They used to.
Yeah. Six generations ago, he wasn't even walking upright.
I'm telling you.
Robert wouldn't say that to his face.
Well, Robert Fuller came over here, and he wants us to talk about the Man-Eater, Frank.
Well, by golly, I think we were, will we?
You want to see that's what we were talking about at the time.
I was going to say, I don't think you want your wrestling team to see any of this boy's style, do you?
Oh, boy. Power slam right there. That was a good move.
And you see the power in them, because in most power slams, they do a lot deeper scoop, and they use their weight. He simply used his arm and just muscled the man over. Heck, this one's over. Ring the bell. Good night, Irene. The party is over. Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, in nothing short of incredible fashion, is the Man-Eater. Right now, let's tell you how you can find out more about bringing the #1 fundraiser, South Atlantic Pro Wrestling. If you see the wrestling team right there, South Atlantic Pro Wrestling to your hometown, then we'll be back with War Eagle Chris Davis and Ranger Ross. Attention members of civic groups, high school booster clubs, or any organization needing money. Ask yourself this. Did your last fundraising event leave the community on its feet cheering with excitement? Did your group's last fundraising event bring television stars watched every week by millions of fans nationwide right into your hometown for everyone to meet? 6 months from now, will your neighbors still be asking you which your group plans its next fundraising event? If the answer to this or any of these questions is no, then you need to put the power of this television station and America's #1 spectator sport, professional wrestling, to work for you. For more details about this dynamic and unique fundraising opportunity, call me, Frank Dusek, at 704-365-1002. All right, South Atlantic Pro Wrestling and care of local sponsor program, P.O. Box 21269, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28222. South Atlantic Pro Wrestling, the Tennessee stud Robert Fuller tried to throw a curve at Jones's Rangers as he teamed the big Man-Eater with Pit Bulldog Spike to take on War Eagle Chavis and Ranger Ross. And Paul Jones, they tried their best to put you out of professional wrestling.
Well, just like Robert Fuller, he's premeditated.
Everything is premeditated. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back 1 week. 1 week ago from tonight, Paul Jones in the corner, Ranger Ross and War Eagle Chavis against Spike and the Man-Eater.
Stud stable. And there's the tag, and once again, it's Psychotic Spike into the ring.
You see the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller, giving instructions. Fuller always in charge in the ring, always in control. He is a ring general. On the other side, though, you have another ring general in Paul Jones. Jones, though, a different type, not nearly as... Look at this. Look at this. We've got a four-way action in the ring. In one side, you see Ross and Chavis. The other side, Ross and Spike. On the other side, you see Chavis and the Man-Eater fighting it out. Referee Byron Richards needs to get control of this situation, and he is trying, does not want to disqualify this match. He wants to, as Gene Liggett would say, let the boys play. Oh, there's a meeting of the minds, and I think Psychotic Spike a little worse for wear on that one. He's spotting 60 or 70 pounds for the big Man-Eater. And once again, it's Ross in the corner. Up over top, Psychotic Spike being backdropped, and this thing is just a melee. Referee Byron Richards trying desperately to get some control. Davis setting him up for the finish. It looks like, no, here comes Rex. It's Rex in the ring, and that should signal the end of the match. They're calling for the disqualification. The bell is being rung. The bell is being rung, calling for the disqualification. Paul Jones has hit the ring. Paul Jones is in on top of Rex. Now Robert Fuller's in the ring, and this thing is turning into a complete melee. Robert Fuller, it's 4-on-3, Stud Stable and Rangers. It's 4-on-3, and you see Fuller working over Paul Jones. Jones and Fuller. The bad blood goes for months. It goes back for years. And it's right now. Paul Jones being held by Rex and just being massacred by the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller. Jones out on his back. Davis being double-teamed. The man-eater taking shots at him. Mike taking shots at him. Rex taking shots at him. There goes Davis out of the ring. Ranger Ross being assaulted. Oh, look at here. It's an Indian deathlock. Fuller sent in the Indian deathlock. That's the hold that won the U.S. title. That's the hold that won the U.S. title. For somebody break the hold before they break his leg. Somebody please get in there. The Indian deathlock is in and set. We need help. Someone please get in. Referee is gone. Davis is gone. Oh, no. This could be it for the career for Paul Jones. Curtis Thompson's come to the ring. It's Curtis Thompson all over top of the side table. Curtis Thompson all over top of the side table. The hold is gone, but Jones may be hurt. Curtis Thompson has come in and is helping out. Unbelievable. Thompson is like a one-man army in the ring. It's incredible. Curtis Thompson has come to the ring. Somebody check on Jones. Somebody please check on Paul Jones' leg. Unbelievable. Oh, and it was a 4-on-3 situation. Davis thrown out of the ring. Ross thrown out of the ring. They went to work on Paul Jones and definitely tried to break his leg. Using his own hold, the Indian deathlock. They've tried to break his leg. If it weren't for Curtis Thompson, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if Paul Jones would be trying to stand or not.
Paul, after reviewing the tape, it looks like another premeditated attempt by the Tennessee stud to put you out of professional wrestling. You know, Frank, Fuller, what are you going to do next? With every bad situation, there's a positive. And the positive is my leg is not broke. And the positive is I've got a friend like Curtis Thompson that came to my rescue. He had no reason to come save me. I've never done anything for him. But I guarantee you one thing, he's looking for you.
And we are back. That's Frank Dusick here at ringside with Coach Jeff Neal, wrestling coach for the Wade Hampton Generals. And Coach, you'll see a couple of pretty good young wrestlers right here in Ranger Ross and War Eagle Prince Davis. Let me, as a matter of fact, let me introduce you to the house crowd real quick.
Go ahead.
From Northwest Georgia, 240 pounds, ladies and gentlemen, Ranger Ross. And from Robinson County, Pembroke, North Carolina, 276 pounds. It's the War Eagle, Chris Taylor. And they are a popular duo, aren't they, Coach?
I'm telling you, today when we were setting up the ring, Ranger and I got around one of the basketball goals and started shooting basketball. And the guy can dunk a basketball.
Well, he's an all-around athlete. I was telling a lot of the wrestling fans, folks don't realize he has been tried under fire. I mean, he was in the jungles of El Salvador, he's been to Panama. The man has been around and kept looking for the handle. He has a true heart. But he is also an extremely gifted athlete, and that is a good point that you made. Although he balks and he works out and he's a very good wrestler, he's also a good basketball player.
Oh, yeah. He's not good all-around athlete as well as being trained in the top special forces that he's been trained in.
I did not know the man could dunk a basketball.
We were out here for he and I were playing and almost flat-footed too.
Almost a flat-footed dunk. Holy shades of Michael Jordan.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Coach, how's the wrestling team looking this year?
Wrestling team's looking pretty good. We've got a long way to go. A week from today, we'll be in the Greenville County tournament. We're improving.
Well, I gather that's what you have to ask for. Mike Rex right now showing a little of that, what do they call that, a strategic withdrawal?
I guarantee you, I think they call it a retreat.
Yeah. Looks like he had 5 speeds in reverse and 1 speed forward in case the big man attacks from behind.
I'm telling you. Here comes the battleship, the big man in, the Texas battleship.
Well, we saw him for the first time last week against the U.S. male Curtis Thompson, making a very impressive duo, weighing somewhere in excess of 340 pounds. He does cast an awesome figure. Anybody who's big enough to write the word battleship across the back of his knife in large letters and be able to see it all is a big old boy.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's less to think that maybe Robert Fuller might have brought this guy in, but we just got a clean break off the ropes, which is impressive.
And, of course, asking for a handshake. Tavis thinking about it. The fans saying no. Tavis thinking better of it. War Eagle keeps Chris Davis' fame of the legendary Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. Champion back in 1960 or 1961. And he learned from one of the best.
Oh, yeah, the original Nature Boy.
The original Nature Boy. That's exactly right. Of course, Coach Neal here, in addition to being the wrestling coach here at Wade Hampton High School, a very avid wrestling fan. Watches a lot of the professional wrestling, as do a lot of the wrestling coaches. You know, folks don't realize my dad's wrestling career goes back some 40 to 60 years, actually. And in the very early days, the college coaches were all professional wrestlers.
Sure.
They did. They didn't wrestle full-time professionally year-round, but during the off-season, they actually wrestled, they actually coached the colleges and then wrestled in the off-season professionally.
Well, what you're saying now is a big movement, especially in amateur wrestling, for the wrestlers getting bulked up and getting size like Ranger Ross and like Chris Davis. Our kids lift weights, they're on a good strength program, and these guys encourage our kids to stay in shape.
They do, and of course, Chavis does deliver a good message, not only to stay in shape, but to stay in school. When I'm asked, and I'm asked this all the time, when people recognize my face, I guess it's a face you can't forget, no matter how hard you try. But I'm asked, how do I become a wrestler? What do I need to do? What is the rock kick that was? What do I need to do? The first thing that I always say is stay in school and get an education.
Sure, get an education, because you can't ever tell. You know, professional athletics, unlike a business career or something, you can get hurt at any moment in time.
Not only that, but if you're lucky, 20 years is the expanse of a career, which means at 38 or 40, you're out on the street. And whether you've got a career or not, to back it up is the question. I was reading a book the other day on Mickey Mantle, the biography, as a matter of fact, of Mickey Mantle, and he was talking about when his baseball career was coming to an end, suddenly he realized he had absolutely no job skills. He worked in a coal mine, was the thing he'd ever done, and played baseball. And he had to find something else to do, and of course he had the financial resources, and of course, having traveled around, he had learned enough through common sense to pick and choose his business associates and was able to do well for himself. But he was stressing the importance of having something to fall back on. Mike Rick saw that backstop coming using the neck breaker, and right now the tide of battle has changed almost instantly in favor of Rick and the Texas battle.
Now, we use an amateur move just like what Mike Rick used there. He cut the right arm of Ranger Ross underneath the armpit, took the chin out, and of course he took him to the mat with it. We do the same thing in amateur wrestling, except we keep him in. Yeah. Try to take him to the mat on his back and pin him all in one move.
Well, certainly right there you see the origin of professional wrestling. A great many of the moves that you see have their origin in the amateur style. And of course, with the professional wrestling being on the TV and in the public eye as such as it is, Coach, I'm sure that you and all the other coaches, when you do see some of these professional moves, there are ways to adapt them to the amateur style. So I'm certain that you are watching sometimes for this, I say.
Oh, sure. We're looking for moves all the time. A lot of the arm bars, a lot of the hammer locks, a lot of those holds can be used in amateur wrestling. It's just things you got to use common sense to think of.
Holy gracious, there was a shoot into the rope. A big savant kick up under the chin, and Mike Rick is out on his feet. You see his arms just dangling. Warrior Chris Davis picking him up for the drop. This should be it. Rick already unconscious. There's the drop. Good-night, Irene. The party's over. The Shea ring the bell, because there's the count of three. Ranger Ross, Warrior Chris Davis are your winners. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a minute. But right now, let us tell you about how to bring South Atlantic Pro Wrestling to your hometown. Coach, thank you very much. We'll be right back. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing here today with two men that I never thought I'd be standing here in the same interview session with. Curtis Thompson, you're the U.S. Mayor. You're a man who's known for going his own way. But when the man beside me, number one Paul Jones, needed some help against the Strike Table, you came to his aid.
Well, you know, Paul and I have been on different sides of the fence for a long time. But when I see Robert Fuller and his new man, the Man-Eater, get in there and they're going to do Paul like that, I'm not going to have no part of it. You know, I do walk in my own way, and I do my own little thing. But when two men get on one guy, I'm not going to take it no more. Paul, let me just give my hand to you.
I'll tell you one thing. I appreciate what you did. At any time, if Fuller's involved or any of the stable,
I'll be there at your side, and that's a promise, because that day, if you would have delivered the mail, my leg would have been broken. Now, Fuller, I said it before, it was premeditated, and I'll say it again. If there's any way I could talk this man, Curtis Thompson, into the Rangers, plus with the Rangers that I have, there's nothing will stop that. Because this man here thinks a lot like you do, Fuller. Except one thing, he won't take a shortcut. He's going to get the job done. He'll get in the ring and he'll do it himself. And that's why he didn't get along with you, Fuller. We're coming your way.
We are back, and there he is, the former South Atlantic heavyweight champion. You see it on the road. He calls himself a Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller. And let me introduce you to this house crowd. From Nashville, Tennessee, at 265 pounds, the former South Atlantic heavyweight champion, the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller. I don't think you like that former comment very much, but personally, I don't care. I give up, ladies and gentlemen. I've been hounded and hounded by folks at ringside. I'm going to do it. Joining me now and putting on the headset, the lovely Shay. And Shay, say something to the audience at home.
Well, it's kind of exciting being here tonight.
It's kind of exciting, it's sure. And there's the bell, and we are underway. Wrestling excitement. Robert Campbell against the Tennessee. I hear you. Why don't you just go ahead and wrestle? The bell is started. I'll talk about it as it goes. This guy talk a lot of what?
Yeah, it seems like he talks an awful lot about something he doesn't really know what's going on.
I think he's inebriated with the exuberance of his own vivacity is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Look at his handshake. There was the mistake the young boy made right there. Robert Campbell trusting the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller. Robert Fuller, of course, the most honest man money can buy. Oh, Fuller taking the young Robert Campbell. Campbell, a whale of an athlete from Morganton, North Carolina. Morganton, the hometown of Senator Sam Ervin, of course, of the great Watergate fame. And right now, he is just being demolished by the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller. Do you have a favorite in this match?
No, not in this one.
Certainly not Robert Fuller.
No.
That's right, no. They stay, of course, actress.
Yes.
And what did you tell me, a plant landscaper?
Interior plantscaper.
Interior plantscaper. Well, we're going to need some interior plantscaper on Robert Campbell because he is just being taken apart by the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller. Fuller, a second-generation wrestler, former South Atlantic heavyweight champion, brought his own referee in, which caused ultimate confusion in the final analysis. Wrestling, Paul Jones. Neither man awarded the belt. And what we're left with right now is no South Atlantic heavyweight champion. Of course, the tournament to be held for the South Atlantic heavyweight championship. A lot of cities vying for the opportunity. We've been talking to folks in Columbia, of course, in Charlotte, Greensboro, and most recently our good friend Connie Majors in the Bahamas, Dave, down in Freeport and Nassau. They're negotiating. They would like very much to have the tournament there as well. And you wouldn't mind joining me at ringside
Well,
there,
I can't wait to go to the Bahamas.
You and me either one. Matter of fact, I wouldn't mind signing on a special referee for the tournament in the Bahamas. That is a big grip selling rocks at the front door. Fuller, suplex over top. This might spell the end for Robert Campbell. Fuller over top. In cover. 1, 2, 3. The match is over that quickly. Your winner, the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller. Robert Fuller, your winner. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we've got a break for commercial messages. When we come back, you'll see the U.S. male, Curtis Thompson. Back in wrestling action, the U.S. male, and that's spelled M-A-L-E, Curtis Thompson. And this is rapidly becoming the hottest property of South Atlantic pro wrestling. A man whose style we have often questioned. There's never been any question of his personality. He's a likable young fellow, but the question has always been his choice of partners, or his choice of associates, I should say. Let me introduce you to the house now. From Newland, North Carolina, 267 pounds, the U.S. male, Curtis Thompson. And Curtis Thompson, what a physique this young boy's got. There it is.
Yeah, looks pretty good to me.
Listen to the pop on the crowd. Jay Annie, her 2 cents in here. It looks pretty good to her, she said. There's the bell, and we are underway. Curtis Thompson against Tommy Landell. And Tommy Landell has got his work cut out for him. Last week, of course, the U.S. male Curtis Thompson doing something that nobody expected, and that was coming to the aid of Jones's Rangers, Paul Jones. You remember, of course, the Tennessee stud Robert Fuller. We saw it a little earlier in the show. The Tennessee stud Robert Fuller had the Indian Deathlock, in fact, on Paul Jones, and they had enough people to keep Ross and Tavis out of the ring, so they were really trying to end the career of Paul Jones. If it were not for this man right here, the Tennessee stud Robert Fuller,
Curtis Thompson.
Curtis Thompson, thank you. I'm going to have to get Dean Ligon back here.
Already ready to get rid of me?
No, just very distracting. In any event, if it had not been for the U.S. male Curtis Thompson, we might not have Paul Jones wrestling anymore. Curtis Thompson, a big smile in his face, but he is a serious young man when he gets started. There he is, full arm drag and twist. Curtis Thompson showing a little wrestling, a little bit of a standing fireman carry. The Wade Hampton Generals wrestling team off in the crowd over here. Of course, this being the fundraiser, we were talking to Coach Neal earlier. You hear that dog pound sound that comes every so often. That's the wrestling team. Curtis Thompson was in there today working out with a few of the boys, as was Chris Davis, showing off those 500-pound bench presses, and sure got that wrestling team fired up. I got a feeling Coach Neal's got a team to be reckoned with now. Whoa, going for the power slam, and his head just spin around and just drilled him like a nail. Another slam, and Curtis Thompson taking his time, taunting Tommy Landell. Tommy Landell not looking very Hollywoodish right now, that's for sure. It will be very interesting in the weeks to come to see whether or not the association between Curtis Thompson and the Rangers last. You know, the association with the site table ended. It was never a very, very successful honeymoon, and the honeymoon did not last very long. And it will be very interesting. Of course, Paul Jones, a much more honorable man than the Tennessee Stud and Robert Fuller. So perhaps, I don't know, Thompson, of course, he likes to walk his own path. He does not like to follow the path of others. He is an individualist, and it will be interesting just to see how well he does mesh with Jones's Rangers. Landell trying to go over top, Thompson too quick for him. Going for the cover and change his mind. That may be a tactical error. He's very, very cocky here today.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's still doing pretty good, though.
Oh, okie dokie.
Tommy Landell's still down on the mat.
He is down on the mat in the USL. Curtis Thompson is carrying it to him right now. He is definitely going to cancel his tap. Now, there's a tactic that you see a lot of times. It is showboat, and now I'm going to tell you, if I had a body like the USL Curtis Thompson, I imagine I'd showboat a little bit too. My wrestling career, I was known to do it from time to time. But you've got to be awful careful about that showboat, because there's only a 3 seconds between victory and defeat in professional wrestling. And if you're up there showboating, we've seen it happen on more than one occasion. You turned your back on an opponent who you thought was down. Right there is an example. As he missed the clothesline, Landell going up for a cross body block. That awesome upper body strength of the U.S. male Curtis Thompson just kicked him out of midair and slammed him on the mat. And so far, every single offensive move that Tommy Landell has tried has backfired, and now slowly backing up and just trying to get out of the ring, just trying to get out of the way. Harry slipped into the post, Thompson slipped to the corner, telegraphed that he stayed at home. Oh, if only Landell had moved, it might have been over. Thompson clotheslining over top. What athletic prowess does Curtis Thompson have? Elbow to the back of the head. And this thing looks to me like it ought to be out at any time. Talking about signaling for the pile driver, that may be the end. He looks like he's going to cancel the stamp and send him back to Hollywood. Here we go. He's got him set. He's up. That should be it right there. Oh, can't touch this, you heard him scream. Tennessee Stud Robert Fuller, Pit Bulldog, Man Eater, you better look out. So there's a man right there that has definitely got his mind set and his eyes set on you people. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear about South Atlantic wrestling action coming up in your area, and we'll be back with our main event, South Atlantic Tag Team action, the Pit Bulldogs against the Man City.
Some important points about backstabbing, about interference, about things that South Atlantic wrestling should not have. Now, I'm talking about last week right here in the program. I saw you out here just a little while ago, Jones with Thompson, all loving it up, boy. Peach it. You guys ain't something. But I'm going to tell you something, Jones. You decided you'd interfere 1 week ago in the match. As usual, you come in to try to help your Rangers out. I came in because I had to. I took you man to man, and I put your own hose on you. And you're right out. I broke your leg in a second. That hadn't it been for Curtis Thompson. Thompson, I figured you had sense about enough to stay out of my business, son, and to stay out of stable business. You don't want nothing else to do with the stable. You better get out of town. You better not be interfering in my matches. Jones, you ain't safe, son. I don't care where you go or what you do. Your leg ain't broke. You better go thank your lucky stars, because it's going to wind up that way. And Thompson, you interfere with me one more time. Just one more time, Daddy, and I'm going to guarantee you this. You're going to have stud all over you, and that's something you don't want. Boys, get fired up, because it's the big one coming up. You got the big one coming up. Look at the man standing in front of you, Thompson, because you're going to be looking at him, Daddy. You're going to be face-to-face with the man-eater and stud, too.
South Atlantic Pro Wrestling, South Atlantic Tag Team Championship on the line. And right now, here are your challengers, Bobby and Jackson Wilson from Bear And they've got their work cut out for them. Twice they defeated the Pit Bulldogs. Third time at the charm. Both times they defeated the Bulldogs. The titles were not at stake. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the South Atlantic Tag Team titles will be on the line. Should they get the 1, 2, 3, should they get their hand raised, they will be your champions. And right here, speaking of champions, are Cyclonic Mike, Rabbit Rex, and the Pit Bulldogs. And you talk about bad blood, the Jackie Fulton earned so good, as they call them. It has been a war between these two men. And your South Atlantic Tag Team champions, from New Jersey, 495 pounds, Cyclonic Mike, Rabbit Rex, the Pit Bulldogs. The belts will stay at ringside. They're going to bring them down here to us. As a matter of fact, I'll step up right now. Stay with you, Mike. Get those belts for me. We're going to keep them here at ringside. The titles are at stake.
Well, Frank, I hate to be the one guessing the winner in this match.
Well, I sure wouldn't want to bet my paycheck on it. You see them right here, ladies and gentlemen. The South Atlantic Tag Team Championship belt. This is the goal. There's the call for the bell. We are underway. I hope we can bring it all to you, is all I can say. As they tap collar and elbow, it'll be Jackie Fulton against Rabbit Rex. Fulton, Rex missing with a punch. I'm sorry, Mike missing with a punch. And it's Fulton with a series of punches. I'm calling this thing all backwards. Boom! I call that one right. It was a right cross. And Spike went down and left up brother and brother standing toe-to-toe, facing off against Spike and Rex. What a contrast in style this match is. The fantastic, of course, the aerial team, the smaller the two teams, the quicker the two teams. The Bulldogs, bigger, stronger, rougher, but they lack the experience. It is a classic confrontation. Who's your choice?
Well, if I had to, I'd have to say the Fantastic. They look a lot better today.
You think the Fantastic, huh?
Yeah, they look pretty fit today.
Well, I'll tell you what, I hope you're right. I hope they do win it, but in all my wrestling experience, I've always learned when you were a kid, of course, I don't think you were ever a tomboy, but when we played baseball in the yard, the tie always goes to the runner. And the same thing applies here. I believe that the advantage always goes to the champion. I will put my money on the Pit Bulldogs, not because I believe they're a better team, not because I am any sort of a fan of the Pit Bulldogs, but because I believe that seeing the champion gives you that psychological edge. As right now we see a test of strength, and of course going to the side of Big Rex. Now coming up, Bobby Fulton trying to get back up to his base, trying to get back up to a neutral position. Unable to do so. Yes, he is able to do so. Back to that funky foot. Right here over top. 1, 2, 3. Oh, gee whiz, I thought this thing was over. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, right there is a classic example of what I'm talking about. You saw the power. Now we've got a war in the ring. Bobby Fulton over top, and they are just going to trade punches. You saw the power of the Pit Bulldogs. He was putting Fulton down. Fulton unable to power out. Instead, you can quickness and his agility. Back him into the rope, and up with a monkey flip, come up over top. A 1-2 and nearly a 3. That's where you turn. A disadvantage is good advantage. Look at here. Sunset flip out of a front face lock. 1, 2, but not 3.
Another close one.
Oh, another close one indeed. A second more. This thing with the titles that have already changed. Once again, they tie up collar and elbow. It's Rex and Jackie Fulton this time. Jackie, the younger, the taller of the two. Bobby Fulton, of course, began wrestling at the age of 17. Now pushing, I'm not supposed to say this, but now approaching the big 3-0. Meaning he's been wrestling now about 13 years, which makes him exceptionally dangerous because not only does he have a great deal of experience, he also has a great deal of youth on his side. Most folks who've got 13 years or so in the wrestling, in the sport of wrestling, have already passed the 35 to the 38-year range. So Bobby is one of those unique individuals who at 40 years of age will have been wrestling over 20 years, and he's passing that knowledge right now on to Jackie Fulton. Jackie Fulton doing just what he needs to do, and that is keep the big man on the mat. Short arm scissor. And if you can see it now, ladies and gentlemen, you notice how the leg is over top of the arm, and when the knee is moved, you can see how he's got his arm barred inside of the arm of the Pit Bulldog. That's what I'm talking about. That not only does that put, you see the arm barred inside the elbow of the Pit Bulldog right there, that cuts off the circulation to the hand. And not only that, but he controls the man as well and keeps him on the mat. That's what they've got to do. Stay on the mat to beat this team. They can't power this. Another one of these quick tag moves for these Fantastic is as good as anybody in the sport is this. Once again, you see short arm scissor. Well, not exactly a short arm scissor. Brother Bobby's showing a little variation of it. The effect is still the same, though. The arm is barred. He's got his arm inside the bend of the arm, once again cutting off the circulation to the hand. But they're a punch in the eyes, or a poke in the eyes, I should say. That'll break almost any hold. And once again, we've got him into a full arm drag and stretch.
Well, Frank, I've been watching wrestling since I was an itty-bitty girl, and I've seen a lot of things I've never seen before.
And you'll see a lot today right here from these two teams, because Bobby and Jackie Fulton, of course, traveled the world. They have wrestled, as have several of our wrestlers on numerous continents. You see a lot of the effects of the Latin wrestlers, a lot of the influence, I should say, of the Latin wrestlers in the Fantastic, because the majority of your Latin wrestlers are smaller wrestlers. Whoa, waist lock, takedown, belly to back, suplex. Talk about turning a disadvantage into advantage. Oklahoma hayride, inside Taylor, good deal with Cullen, but not enough. The big man able to power out. And right now, the Fantastic doing exactly what we need to do, and that's make those tags. They continue to make the tags, and they're making them on Rex, which is an important point, because Rex is the bigger of the two men, the powerhouse of the two Bulldogs. If they can control him and wear him down, then they think they've got a shot at taking out Spike. Once again, you see that short arm scissor being employed, working on the arm. Apparently that's going to be the strategy of the pit bull of the Fantastic. There are 5 basic points of leverage on the human body: 2 legs, 2 arms, and a hip. If you're going to take the person out, you have to take out one of those 5 points of balance. And right now, it looks like they were working on the arm, but the tide of battle changing. In for the ride. No, reversal. Bulldog into the corner. Back straight out and across. And big old Rex just looking to make a tag. Right there was a mistake. I think he should have made it. And again, you see a little cute move. What a nice little takedown. Went into a power move. Rex thinking things were going his way. Broke it, spun underneath, and took the man down, shoot him in. Another quick tag. And these Bulldogs just continue to work it over. Holy mackerel, look at him go. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to pay the bills, so we're going to need to jump in and take a commercial break. We'll bring you all of this match we can. But right now, let's take off for these commercial messages, and we'll... No. I was going to say, yeah, let's go ahead. We've got to take the break. Let's do it now, and then we'll come back with more wrestling right after this. It's Bobby that sets the pace for this team. I know it's Bobby that sets the pace for this team. So I don't know whether there was some message passed between them during one of their tags or what. But right now, they are definitely going after the legs. As you saw the double leg dive, another quick tag. Oh, looks like they're going to make a win. Oh, I wonder if the wish came true. I know the wish of the Bulldogs didn't. Into the ride reversal. Power slam and drilled all the way to the mat. Big Rex, nobody home. Rex with a great move to come up with that power slam, but then telegraphing that elbow. Fulton using his quickness to get out of the way. Both men right now in a little bit of a problem, setting for another elbow and nobody home.
Bulldogs are taking a lot of pain this time.
They are taking a lot of punishment indeed. A hook of the leg. One. Not quite enough. Oh, my goodness. Fulton attempting to set inside for a double wrist lock. Unable to get his Rex showing his power right now. Fulton showing his speed. Rex just pulled him into the corner. Nobody home. I'm not sure exactly. I guess that's sort of like that Hawaiian good luck symbol or something, huh? That's universal language there. Holy mackerel, once again a tag. This must be 20 tags made for the Fantastic. But that's the kind of thing you're going to have to do if you're going to win a tag team match against the reigning champions, the Pit Bulldogs. Jackie Fulton headlock, pick him up, belly to back suplex. That belly to back suplex used by both teams now. It was more of a waist lock suplex used by the Fantastic, or the traditional belly to back used there by the Bulldogs. A tag behind the back of Jackie Fulton. I know he didn't see it. I thought he didn't see it. Jackie Fulton, he saw the tag, but what he did not see was the fact that Rex did not get out of the ring. And now the Pit Bulldogs are going to work. Double backbreaker behind the referee's back. Byron Richards doing what he has to do. A lot of folks say, why does the referee turn his back? Why does he pay attention? Ladies and gentlemen, a referee is only human, and he can only do one thing at a time. And if Bobby Fulton is in the ring illegally, he's got a choice. He can let him stay in the ring illegally, or he can put him out. He has to put him out. Now, if Bobby would get out of the ring, he wouldn't be this problem. But in the heat of passion and in the excitement of the battle, things happen. And consequently, Brother Jackie is the one taking the beat. And this crowd, you hear them in the background. I hope you can hear my voice over top of them. They are solidly behind the Fantastic. Remember that the South Atlantic Tag Team Championship belt is at stake. The belts are on the line. There's a big, big vertical suplex. And Jackie Fulton on his back in the middle of the ring. Rex going in, finally making the cover. 2. Foot on the rope. Just a foot on the rope that makes the save.
Rex is staying back from the chain now.
He sure is. And once again, Bobby Fulton in the ring. And once again, the Pit Bulldogs utilizing the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to double team. You saw that little shove get the referee's attention. 1, 2, and not quite 3. That was close enough to say was reaching for the bell. We both thought it was over. Ooh, heel of the boot caught him right between the eyes, and Jackie Fulton needs to make a tag right now. Brother Bobby, there's the tag. Here comes Big Spike. Oh, got across and got him before the tag was made. Jackie Fulton definitely needing to make a tag and was unable to do so. And now it's Spike and Rex, the Pit Bulldogs, beginning to tag in and out on the Fantastic. You remember you have a count of 5 between your tags in order to make your break. Now here we go again. Setting them up. Look at this. Up over top. I don't like the look of this at all. Oh, nobody home. Oh, they backwardly missed completely, and this could be a major problem. Everybody now. Both Bulldogs are down. Jackie trying to make the tag. Rex, Mike, I'm not sure who's the legal man, but here comes Bobby Fulton, and I know for a fact Bobby Fulton's legal. A series of right hands, and the Bulldogs going down like tons of bricks. Bulldogs going down everywhere. Look at here, headlock and head scissor, and here they both go over. Brother Jackie back up, and we've got all 4 in the ring. This is a melee. But then every time these teams have met, it has been a pure team melee. Referee Byron Richards trying to let the boys play. Jackie Fulton colliding with Rex. Mike got Bobby Fulton 10, 1, 2, but not quite 3. I don't know. I've lost track of the legal man. Do you have any idea who's legal?
I have no idea.
I don't either, but there's a cover. Bobby Fulton's got him covered. Oh, boy, I'm confused as I can be as to what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Referee Byron Richards needs to get somebody out in order to get control of this match. Double clothesline. Bobby Fulton. Jackie now to go back to Bobby Fulton. They're going to double. They're going to double. Look at this. He caught him. Double drop kick. They went for the suplex in front of Jackie, able to make the catch. Oh, goodness gracious. Talk about foiling a plan. It was foiled right there. Up over top. Here we go. He's got him up. This could be it. There's the drop. There's the drop. Here's the tag. Here comes Jackie Fulton over top. This has won every match for them so far. They're calling for the pin. They're calling for the pin. Referee Byron Richards. That's it. It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got new tag team champion. Your winner, new tag team champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fantastic. The belt can change hands. The Fantastic. No. Hands in the ring. Hands in the ring. The Fantastic are the champion. I don't like the look of this. We've seen the skull rising happen before. Oh, no. What's the chair? What's with the chair? Somebody, please. Bobby Fulton outside the ring. The Fantastic support. No, not the arm. No, I don't like this at all. Look out. Somebody, please get up. Get Bobby Fulton up. Get Jackie up. Oh, my God, all over the arm. Oh, no. Oh, no, my God. I can't believe they've done this. Oh, geez, I can't believe they've done it. Ladies and gentlemen, they've come down with the chain. They planted the arm, held it out across that chair, and come down with the chain, and now are just going to work on the arm of Bobby Fulton. And I do not like the look of this at all. Using belts, using chairs, using chains. Oh, no, this could be a serious problem for Bobby Fulton. I do not like the look of this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go away to commercial break, and we'll be back. We've got to get control of this. Break it. Take it away, Robert. Cut it off. We don't need to see any more of this. Cut it off, Robert.
Attention, members of Civic Group, High School Booster Club, or any organization needing money. Ask yourself this. Does your last fundraising event leave the community on its feet cheering with excitement? Does your group's last fundraising event bring television stars watched every week by millions of fans nationwide right into your hometown for everyone to meet? 6 months from now, will your neighbors still be asking you what your group plans this next fundraising event? If the answer to this or any of these questions is no, then you need to put the power of this television station and America's #1 spectator sport, professional wrestling, to work for you. For more details about this dynamic and unique fundraising opportunity, call me, Frank Dusick, at 704-365-1002. Or write South Atlantic Pro Wrestling in care of local sponsor program, P.O. Box 21269, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28222. Don't miss it. Be there.
Listen to an American original.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, we're back, and as you see, I was just telling Coach Neal back here, just checking on Bobby Fuller. I've seen enough broken arms to know this was whether it was the chain or whether it was the belt, but obviously you could hear him right here. It hurts bad, and I don't know what to say. Obviously, the arm's broken, and Paul Jones hollering for the doctor. Cameraman followed him in the dressing room. What should have been the happiest moment for the Fantastic, they are the South Atlantic Tag Team Champions. However, with Bobby Fulton obviously in a mess at this point. Scheduled next week was to be the Fantastics in one of our matches. I'm not sure now. I mean, it's obvious Bobby Fulton, you hear him right there, the Bulldogs are dead meat. It's obvious that he's not going to be here. Also scheduled next week was to be the Tennessee Stud Robert Fuller against Curtis Thompson, but certainly next week too, ladies and gentlemen, we'll try to have an update. Hopefully we'll have an update on the condition of Bobby Fulton, as well as what is going to be the outcome of the South Atlantic Tag Team belts. I mean, whether Fulton can compete or not, I don't know, but right now